Hello everyone, my name is Daniel and yay! Welcome back to Tech Wright. It's been so long. Alright, number one, I swear I fixed my hair today. It just didn't happen. Number two, this shirt makes me look gigantic. I'm not gigantic, am I? Anyways, please excuse the absence. I will post a follow-up video on that very soon. But today you clicked on this video because you want to have a recap of the October event Apple had on Monday. So without further ado, let's get straight into it and talk about what they released. I honestly had high hopes for this release because I kind of felt like it was not something that they told you about pretty far in advance. Unless I've just been living under a rock recently, which for the past couple of months I kind of have. I learned about this event like 4 days before it was supposed to actually happen. In the event, they released a new iPad Pro, a new MacBook Air, and a Mac Mini. I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of really excited about one of these, and I'll tell you about one of them that I am kind of leaning toward after we go over the specs. Starting with the iPad Pro. The iPad Pro comes in two different sizes. It comes in an 11-inch and a 12.9-inch, which number one, the iPad Pro is huge anyway. When I first saw the iPad Pro, I watched one of iJustine's videos where she unboxed it, and the whole video, all she did was talk about how gigantic this thing is. Since then, they have released like 4 or 5 different versions of the iPad Pro, with this one being the newest one. They've upped their game a little bit on the liquid retina display that they have put inside of the iPad Pro, as well as an A12X Bionic chip. Now this thing is supposed to drastically improve the speed and functionality of the iPad Pro, and to be honest with you, it kind of really needed it. I've had several iPads, and for some reason I've never done an unboxing of the actual iPad on my channel. It's always been a lot slower than my phone, or a lot slower than my computer. So anytime I've ever purchased an iPad, I just use it for a couple of days, decide it's a mistake like a week later, and then I just return it. The new iPad Pro does have Face ID recognition, which is what the new iPhone X, XS, XS Max, or XS Max, really whatever you want to call it. I'm not a big fan of their naming system anymore, but we'll get into that in a completely separate video. The iPad Pro is a very expensive device, with it being $799 for the 11-inch and almost $1,000 for the 12.9-inch, which is ridiculous. I mean, you can just buy a computer with that price, basically. Which actually does lead me into my next topic, the MacBook Air. The MacBook Air was kind of an exciting release and a disappointment release, because the one thing that I wanted on this machine was a touchscreen. All of the PCs either do one thing anymore. The screen either detaches and turns into a tablet, like all of the Microsoft products, the Microsoft Surface, the Microsoft Studio, they all have detachable pieces, and the laptop versions always detach from the keyboard itself, making it a tablet. Not only that, but their touchscreen, which is the one thing that I wanted so badly in the new MacBooks that would probably sway me into getting rid of my old MacBook and getting a new one. But instead, they didn't do that. They did, however, put a Retina display inside of the MacBook Air, which is something that I'm actually very happy about, because I can't look at something that's not a Retina display anymore. It just doesn't work out for me. I don't like it. The MacBook Air has, however, been raised up for a Touch ID upgrade, so that instead of, typing in your password, you can still use the same thing that the new MacBook Pros do, where you just touch the side and it unlocks your computer for you. It does support the Thunderbolt 3 ports. There is 3 or 4 of them on each side, which is okay, but only if you're prepared for that dongle mess. I'm not sure if I'm ready for that yet. It does, however, have the new MacBook keyboard that has been put into the new MacBook Pros, and it also has the Force Touch trackpad, which to be honest with you, that's my favorite. The Force Touch is my favorite, because when the computer's turned off, I think it's broken sometimes, because whenever I press on my trackpad and it doesn't move, I think that it's been jammed because I forget, and that's why it's my favorite. One thing they did mention, and I thought this was extremely cool, was the fact that the encasing of the iPad Air is made out of 100% recycled aluminum material. So last but not least, we are going to talk about the Mac Mini, which is the item that I am most excited about because I am going to do a comparison coming up on my computer specs versus the Mac Mini specs. Mainly I want to do this so that I can convince myself to purchase a Mac Mini because I just think it would be a good desktop computer to have and maybe do a little bit of basic editing on the side there. The Mac Mini does come in two separate options. You can have a 6-core processor or a quad-core processor, which is huge for a Mac Mini. It has up to 64 gigabytes of memory, which in PC world, when Apple says memory, they are talking about the RAM. And it has up to 2 terabytes of flash storage, which again, in PC world, that means memory or storage. It's just the amount of space that's on the computer. They kind of say things weird and I'm used to it by now, but if you've never ever ventured over into the Mac world, then it's kind of easy to get confused. I did whenever I kind of, switched over to everything Apple. But other than that, it does have Ethernet cable, HDMI 2.0 outputs, and they have also switched up to the Thunderbolt 3 ports as well. So again, I'm not excited about the dongle city here, but I guess we're just gonna have to roll with what we got. And this Mac Mini starts out around $799, which this is the first time that I have ever looked at an Apple product and they're like, oh, that's an affordable price. Because that just doesn't happen anymore. Everything is high premium pricing with Apple, so whenever I saw the $799 price tag, I was over the moon. But those are just the highlights of the actual conference and what they announced. Now, I want you to put in the comments below what was your favorite thing out of this conference. I also want you to put in the comments below what your favorite thing was in the Worldwide Developer Conference that was released in September, because I have completely dropped the ball on putting out a video for that on you guys. And I'm still going to, because I'm the king of doing things that are extremely late and I still want to do them. So that's gonna happen. Anyways, I do apologize about the late post on this channel. I'm gonna try to do a lot better. I will post an update video on that explaining what was going on and what happened. So I am so sorry about that. But here we are. All right, you guys, be sure to like this video, give it a thumbs up, please. Put those comments down below because I actually do want to read them and I do try to respond to every single person that posts a comment. Also, be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Click on these videos that are up in the top corner because I love them, I work hard on them, and I hope that you love them too. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.